Hi, Kim O here, the creator of HeartWorkUniversity. Today we're going to talk about spiritual ascension. What does it mean? Why does it happen? What's it all about, basically? So, spiritual ascension basically means your vibrational frequency is ascending, it's rising, it's becoming higher. And as we know, we are all energy, and energy vibrates. Light vibrates. And so, when you're in a season of ascending, it means you're vibrating higher, basically. What precipitates this vibration of vibrating higher? Well, a big thing is maybe you've just healed some stuff. You've processed some feelings that have been stuck deep down inside, suppressed for a really long time. So you got those feelings up and out and you processed them in a healthy way. There's a healthy way to process your feelings, even your negative ones. Check out Heal, Hurt, and Trauma. It could probably seriously end some major suffering that you may have been experiencing, because feeling your feelings truly is a cornerstone to your healing. So if you process some feelings that have been stuck inside, that's heavy stuff. So when you ascend, you become lighter. You are releasing this baggage, for lack of a better word. So that can cause spiritual ascension. And when you become lighter, you're vibrating at a higher frequency and your life will change. People around you will probably notice, and some people will like it, some people won't like it, because people tend to want to hang out with people who have similar vibrational frequencies as them. That's why you hear about when you do grow and expand, sometimes you lose friends. Sometimes friends are fine with it and they'll go along with you, or they're fine being around you even though you are, making different choices possibly and just have a better attitude toward life. Like all kinds of good things happen. So I mentioned feelings. Maybe you've forgiven someone. Maybe you've forgiven yourself. We tend to forget about ourselves. We tend to forget to judge ourselves less. Self-judgment is a big self-sabotager, probably the largest. As a therapeutic soul coach, sounds so official, doesn't it? That's really kind of one of the main things I have to work on with people is releasing that self-judgment. Because once you release the self-judgment, shockingly, I know you're going to find this hard to believe, you actually will stop judging others. It's just kind of how it is. If you judge yourself, you're going to be more likely to judge others. And we sometimes think that we're these really nice people and we don't judge people, but when you get your feelings hurt by others, when you're offended constantly by others, that is judging others. We are all having a human experience. We're all trying to figure it out. We're all on the journey somewhere. Who's to say? Are you the dictator of somebody else's life when they come to the truths they come to? Or, to even judge their history, their past. We don't know what anybody's truly been through. We really don't. Many scars are hidden. You cannot see them. You can't see sexual abuse. You can't see childhood trauma on the outside. No. And those are highly devastating. Those affect your life big time in some really tragic ways, unless you have some support around you and you come to a place where you realize you got to heal that stuff in order to, there it is, ascend. Now, ascending doesn't make you better than anyone. I want to make sure I make that clear. It just means that's where you're at right now. Like I just said, we just can't judge where anybody is on their journey. If anything, more love, more light, more compassion, rather than judgment of someone, will cause them to want to ascend too. Because it's really just from experience and the people I coach, life has more love, joy, and peace when you choose to ascend. And we don't have to make anyone wrong for not ascending, but more compassion and kindness toward others causes everybody to rise. So I think that's great, don't you? Yeah. So if you're in a state of constantly being hurt, offended, blah, 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 there's not a lot of caring and kindness involved in there. You're making assumptions about others that doesn't take into consideration their whole life story, the things you don't see, the scars. Okay, enough about that because I could really go on and on about that. So, what else can happen to you when you're in a season of ascension? A big thing is you're going to seek out purity, truly. You're going to become more self aware, more other aware, and more globally aware. So, I know for me, I suddenly just really craved healthy food. Anything I put in my mouth, I wanted to make sure it was organic, no pesticides. And back when I was eating meat, I don't eat meat anymore. I'm a vegan. But back when I was, I really wanted to make sure, or eating eggs, I really wanted to make sure it wasn't factory farming or, those horrible, those stories. We've all heard of them. But we want to buy from farmers, from companies that humanely treat their animals. The thought of ingesting food from an animal that was tortured in some way or was living in really bad conditions, it actually hurts my heart. It hurts my heart when I see people not recycle or they just toss their garbage around. When I go kayak, I always see a bunch of garbage on the shoreline, and it breaks my heart. I have a hard time wrapping my head around someone who would just blatantly toss garbage onto the ground and not take the time to put it in a trash receptacle. I'm more conscious of my water usage. I try to conserve water more. I don't take as long of showers. It's amazing. It's amazing the things that you'll be convicted of as you continue to ascend. You'll just wake up to it. I mean, there was a time when I was younger that I went to SeaWorld and I just didn't have that conviction yet of the horror of these animals in these tanks. Now I can't bear it. Like, I cannot bear it. I'm so glad that I ascended in that area quite a long time ago where I could be sort of a prayer warrior and stand up for these animals, that they do not belong in these pools. Back to being vegan. For me, it really resonates with my soul to be vegan, and it resonates with my constitution. I've kind of looked at this from a lot of angles, and I'm a type A blood type, and I just do better with a vegan diet. I have less hydrochloric acid in my stomach, so processing meat is really difficult. I easily bloat, blah, blah, blah. So being vegan just really works for me, and I love that I'm not eating animals. It's just me, okay? Now, if you eat animals, I am absolutely never going to make you feel bad about that, because some people actually need it. They really need to have meat for their constitution. We all have different dietary needs, but if you're going to eat meat, again, avoid those factory farms. Look for meat that comes from animals that got to graze and enjoy being outside and, that whole thing. I actually grew up on a farm and we did have beef cattle. So I was raised, around the killing of animals for food. And again, I was a kid, and actually it was a very sensitive one, and I had a really hard time with when that time of year came around. It was really hard for me. So hopefully we just all start to become more conscious, and the people raising animals are more conscious, and they will treat animals humanely. Another crazy thing I'm doing, it's not so crazy, but I really want to cut down on my garbage. So I've got these 2 buckets here, and I've got them throughout the house. And one is for, I'm using actually these soft, small little baby hand cloths for, blowing your nose or using as napkins or whatever. And when they're used, you just dump them in this bucket. And then I just gather them and I put them in the washing machine. And I kind of love that I'm reducing the amount of garbage we're creating in our household. Again, it's just one small gesture that means a lot to me, and I feel good doing it, and I just want to keep doing it. And I know as I move along, more things will open up for me and I'll continue on that path. You're probably going to be more conscious about what you allow your eyes to see. I know that I am so sensitive to, you know, dark movies, TV, news. It's just too negative for me. I would rather feed myself with positivity because, and it's not that I'm going to be ignorant because I'm not ignorant. I like to kind of know what's going on, but I shield myself. So there's this verse in the Bible that says, whatever is lovely, whatever is true, whatever is pure, whatever is noble, whatever is admirable, think on these things, and the God of peace will be with you. And it's really true. When I veer from thinking about those sorts of things and I focus on the negative stuff going on, and we all know there's all kinds of negative stuff going on. If we focus on that, we lose our peace. So I really have to be careful on that and balance myself. You'll probably notice that you're going to want more positivity, to be around more positive people, and just fill yourself with the positive love and light so that you can stay in love and light. I know when I subject myself to those things that are more negative, it's harder to stay in love and light. We can slip back into our old ways and our old patterns. And until we've sort of lived in the positive space and made that our habit for a time, then it becomes natural to just live that way. I think I've covered the main aspects of spiritual ascension. If you're listening to this and you're thinking, yeah, that sounds really good, I want to get on the road to spiritual ascension, you need to fill your mind with these good things so that you can start processing. And as Lao Tzu says, if you don't change direction, you may end up going where you're headed. Are you headed in the right direction? And that is why I built the school, HeartWork University. These are courses you can watch right now, literally right now. You could start changing your life right now. I have developed key foundational courses so that you can spiritually ascend, have more love, joy, and peace in your life. Why not? I mean, I was suffering so much, I couldn't take it anymore. I was tired of the life of suffering. So, the key elements to what every single person needs to address, you got to revisit the past to process your history. So then you can step into your true authenticity, because life, traumas, negative experiences cause us to lose ourselves. Relationships can cause us to lose ourselves. We forget who we are. And stepping into your unique authenticity, being you, is your greatest gift. And it's hard to do that, impossible, when you've got your past still nagging at you, resentments, unforgiveness. And once you've cleared that, you can really discover who you are. What are your likes? What are your dislikes? What's your purpose? What fuels you and fires you up and makes you feel amazing? Being your authentic self, me being me right now, teaching and sharing. That's my gift. I freaking love it. Nothing feels better than this. But I couldn't access this Kim until I cleared out that stuff. And it's really hard to even do relationship without stepping fully into your authenticity, because you're expecting someone else to kind of make you feel better. And no one else can do that for you because they've got their own stuff. It's very temporary, if you noticed. If you rely upon someone else, that's going to be very temporary. So check out my courses. I've got courses on communication, authenticity, how to never take anything personally. That's a biggie. Mastering your mind. Okay, I think that wraps it up. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. Hope to see you again soon.